Talk my shit again.
What it do, what it do, what it do. It's your boy Cassius Cliff here to talk my shit yet again. When I tell you I got some shit to talk today, I mean that with the utmost sincerity. I mean, what a great showing yesterday. We had to show up in LA, and really and truly, I feel like this team did exactly what we needed to do. We 5-0. And really the goal every week is to go 1-0 every week. No matter the matchup, divisional or not, conference or not, it don't matter. Got to show up. And I feel like we did. Now, my prediction was a little off, and I was predicting 31-21, but 23-14 ain't too bad, especially given how we got to that point. And really, before we get into any content, definitely want to give a big shout out and thank you to all the people supporting me up until this point. I definitely noticed it, definitely appreciate all that. Continue to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification for the YouTube for sure. And yeah, I just appreciate it, man. We're going to keep it going, obviously. We pretty much early into the season. It's only week 5. But we got a couple more weeks. We got at least 12, if not 13 more weeks before the season's over. So we're going to enjoy this ride, bro. And yesterday was no different. I definitely enjoyed the game, even though it was a little nip and tuck, which I, definitely expected that. But hey, that's what we're here to talk about it, break it down, kind of look at things a little more closely. And really, before I even get any further, really, I want to give a shout out to one of my homegirls, Charlie. Another happy birthday. We were celebrating you yesterday, even though you didn't have the best time because you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. Still happy birthday to you. Still love you. You know what I'm saying? My heart goes out to you because that was rough to watch for you, I'm sure. I thoroughly enjoyed it, obviously. But we're going to talk about that a little later. We're going to talk about our game first. All right? So, like I was telling y'all in that last video, expected to win in LA, sure away from home. But what I anticipated, what I actually foresaw, I thought we was going to take over. It was going to be home away from home. This clip is no different. I mean, you see us out there in droves. And if you know anything about SoFi Stadium, it's a pretty new stadium. And really, the Rams being moved back to LA, there's not a lot of people that are huge fans of the LA Rams. You got 2 teams in LA right now, actually, with the Rams and the Chargers. And this video evidence right here goes to show not only do we travel well, we take over. And it was necessary pretty much because we know it wasn't going to be an easy matchup. That was never in the cards for us, especially given how they passed the ball. They got Cooper cut back. But with these amount of fans in the stadium, showing the support and the love for the team all the way across the country, how you not expect these boys to go off on a primetime game? That's exactly what we got. Now, I definitely want to get into a couple clips, moving through this content, through this video. But before we even really get into it, I want to shout out a couple people on the team and really their performances. First and foremost, number 1, I had him on yesterday, JALEN Hurts. I'm talking about primetime game, primetime performance. Now, he did have an INT. I didn't forget that. Again, a pretty good play by the defender. That's the second time we had like a toe tap right there at the one, if not in the end zone with that one. That was a touchback. So that was a great play by the defensive player, the D-back, Witherspoon. But my man showed out yesterday. We're talking about on a defense that allowed under 200 yards passing per game. He threw for 300. Added with another 72 on the ground, a touchdown in the air, touchdown on the ground. I'm not really big on seasonal awards, and really and truly, I'm not going to be banging the table for my man to be MVP candidate right now. Why? Because I'm more concerned about winning the tough games. Yesterday was another evidence of a tough game that we needed to win. We got even tougher matchups coming down the line. So I'm not really concerned with the season awards and accolades, all that stuff. That's cool. We're trying to win games. We're trying to go 1-0 every week. And we did that yesterday. And since we're on the topic of JALEN, let's go and get into a couple clips and really how he was able to dissect this defense and really hitting somebody that needed to be highlighted and hit on early in this game. And really for us to move the ball effectively, I just figured he had to be in the game plan. And I mentioned in that last video, my man GOEDERT. He was targeted often and early, and it paid dividends, man. We needed that purely because they're going to clue in on Smitty. They're going to clue in on AJ. We was expecting some stuff from Quez. We're going to get into that a little later. But here you go. Got right here with the touchdown, his first of the season. And really that was a huge, I feel like, confidence boost for him and really the offense because That's another phase of our offense we haven't even touched on yet. We needed that. And we got a dose of it right here. And I feel like it's only going to allow us to expand our offensive philosophy and really our scheme even more, that people are going to have to respect Goddard after putting up 117 yards in this game against a team that didn't allow over 200 yards passing, period. We put up 300. Our tight end, who hasn't had the best season up until this point, put up 117 alone and a touchdown. You got to take those. I mean, look at this next play and pass by JALEN to Goddard. I'm talking about pinpoint dot right there to the tight end. I mean, he did his best to keep his feet. He got tackled. And really, you need a gang to tackle this guy. He's a load, pause, on the way to the end zone when he gets that ball in his hand. And it's one of those things you got to exploit when it comes to the offense and really having all the tools available to you and using them to that, the best potential, really, to the nth degree. You got to do that when you're playing against teams that play this tough against the pass. I mean, JALEN was just dotting it up. This is one of AJ. AJ had a big game, set a record. Since the 70s for the Eagles, you haven't had a receiver go for over 125 consecutive games. AJ's have over 125 for 3 games straight. If that's not a dog, if that's not the best receiver in the conference, if not the division, I have nothing else to show you. I got no further evidence to give you. I mean, the guy's been proving it week in and week out. Week in and week out, he's been proving that he's a number one, and you got to respect him. One-on-one coverage just ain't enough for this guy. He's too strong, too quick, runs great routes. This is another evidence of that, with great hands to add on top of all of that. You just need it. Now, I did mention JALEN had 72 on the ground. This run play right here on third down was huge for this game. Now, even when I was watching in real time, I was a little concerned because I was like, it's a tough spot we're in. I believe it was 3rd and 5. And even where he was at on the field, given the defenders around him, it was tough to, kind of picture him getting this first down and picking it up. I was even worried. Like, look at his leg when he steps down and plants it. I'm thinking, like, please do not get hurt. Please don't get hurt. Just stay up. If we don't get the first down, live to fight another down. No, I ain't tripping. I'm not tripping. But what did JALEN do, given that, like I've said, the man squats at least 600? He takes the contact, keeps it moving, first down. I mean, that is a franchise quarterback. That's an MVP caliber quarterback. This is what I've come to expect from him. This is what he continues to show. No surprise to me. Now, I did mention somebody that I felt like should have been incorporated into the game plan, given they came off an injury, and thought that he would actually help. And I need to look at it probably a little closely. But I feel like Quez probably did allow Goddard to actually spread the field and get his targets and get in the flow of his game. But we're talking about Quez personally. Boy, he needs to get back in the lab. Now, we try to give Quez some opportunities to make some plays. Right here, we got a screen. If you look at this play, there's no way he shouldn't have gotten the first down. I don't know what he's seeing, what he's looking at. That was horrible play recognition in terms of the passing and the blocks. He did not recognize where to go with the ball at all. You got 2 guys blocking for you in Smith and AJ, 2 pretty good, decent blocking receivers, and you take it out of bounds and lose yards when we needed 2 yards for a first down? That's horrible. And really, this adds insult to injury. JALEN missing this guy wide open. Now, obviously, this isn't on Quez. But dare I say, I can't blame him for not looking your way after that last pass when that should have been a gimme for a first down. Yeah, he missed you right here. And sure, JALEN is not blameless. He's not the perfect quarterback that people probably think that I think he is. But, I mean, you're wide open right here and you blew a 2-yard pass. A 2-yard pickup, easy first down. These things kind of happen. I'm not surprised by this. It is what it is. But obviously the dub is more important. And though Quez didn't have the best game, he actually had a lackluster game. I want to definitely see more as the kids in there. These kind of things are, they happen, and you got to move on, look at the tape, and try to improve. And I feel like the offense did what they needed to do. Obviously, like we had a tough matchup, we had a tough game with these guys. Aaron Donald didn't take it easy on us, even though I feel like the line held up pretty well. Sua Pettit, he let up 3 pressures, no QB hits, no sacks. I feel like that's huge. We definitely didn't expect him to do that in the passing game. At least I didn't. And he did well enough in the running game. We still put up over 150 yards rushing, even though, DeAndre didn't have the best game. We did what we needed to do on the ground, given especially that I knew he was going to be able to move the ball on the ground. It was the passing game that I was concerned about. especially if you get into a shootout with a guy like Matt Stafford, and you Cooper Kupp had over 100 yards. Puka was held under 100 as actually his least amount of yards per game up until this point of the season. He still had a pretty good touchdown on Bradbury. Brad, you got to tighten that up a little bit. But bro, a win is a win, especially given that we performed in a way that we haven't necessarily performed a lot in this season. 300 in the air again against a team that allowed 200 yards. You got to take that. You got to take that as a dub. You got to accept it. And I'm definitely wouldn't accept it, especially given how we performed on defense. Yeah, we were struggling in the beginning. Again, even though Cooper Kupp and Puka went off, we didn't allow over 200 passing yards for the game. That is a huge, great sign for us. Bradley Roby, great signing. He was targeted 4 times, allowed 2 catches for -4 yards. And really that turned the tide when it came to the second half. Because the Rams put up 0 points in the second half. Huge shout out. Tip my cap off to Sean Desai. I mean, this is what we've been looking for. And we got that. And really how we was able to do that? Applying pressure. If y'all heard me mention his name and was looking for him to have a big game, especially with Fletcher being out, if you're paying attention, you saw number 98, Jalen Carter. I mean, he ain't a Georgia Bulldog for nothing because he's a real dog. I'm talking about real dog. And he showed that again yesterday with 2 sacks. Now, I'm super proud of that. And obviously, we could always get better. But I'm going to take it as like, this is only the beginning. Again, we were missing one of our captains on the team, and really the captain of that D-line aside from BG, Brandon Graham, and Fletcher Cox. And my man stepped up. 2 tackle for losses, 2 sacks, I believe like maybe 2 or 3 hurries, and 2 QB hits. What else could you want from a rookie? Aside from him, scoring touchdowns? Like, obviously you don't get those every week. But 2 sacks, 2 tackle for losses by a rookie, missing one of their captains on that line. Hey, that's all we could ask for, especially when it amounted to a W. Now, I mentioned him purely because he's a rookie, and we know he's going to be in the middle and have probably a big snap count, a huge snap count. And why I didn't mention this next player, because not only do I expect better from him, where he's been at, he's been hurt. And finally, without the casque on his hand, and you could not see him on the field. When you saw number 7, my man HAASON Reddick, Philly Bull, I mean, he put his fingerprints all over this game, especially when it came to closing it out. Because he, too, had 2 sacks and 2 tackle for losses. And we've been waiting for my man HAASON Reddick to come back, our man HAASON Reddick to come back and put his impact on this game and on this team. And yesterday was a great example of that. And we needed that, especially given that Matthew Stafford, I feel like, was going to get ready to really start throwing the pill around. And the way Cooper Kupp and Puka was playing, you got to put as much pressure as you can and really as possible on a quarterback like Matthew Stafford. Yesterday was definitely a good example of that, and we definitely needed it. Now, we had a couple guys that weren't doing what they needed to do, and I was worried about them, which is why I mentioned Bradley Roby's stats. Mario Goodrich and Eli Ricks. Those guys, man, they taking their lumps out there. But that's why we got Bradley Roby, clearly. And him being inserted into that lineup, along with Justin Evans, who I was praying he gave us something, and he finally did. He was actually a lot better than what Evans looked at that safety spot. It looks like the great matchup, or really the combination that we need. It got to be Evans. It got to be Reed Blankenship, Bradbury, Slay, and you got to put in this guy, Bradley Roby. It's imperative, it's essential, and really we was able to pull up, I would think, one of our best defensive performances in terms of the passing game in that second half. I get, for me, what I think one of the better receiver combos in this league, or formed to be one of the better receiver combos in this league. That being said, not only am I super proud, I'm too hyped. 5-0 ain't no joke. There's only 2 5-0 teams right now, San Fran and Philly. And obviously, you're going to be looking for that matchup coming down the season and the schedule. But we handled our business this week, and that's the only thing that's important right now. Going 1-0 each week and really going 5-0 up until this point. Again, huge shout out to y'all for supporting, watching the pod, like, sharing, subscribing. 5-0, baby. 5-0. I was in that bar yesterday, Franklin Hall, in the city, celebrating my girl's birthday. in my Kelly Green and all my glory. When I tell you your man was hype, I was hyping there. But hey, as it's today, Victory Monday, I'm kind of taking it light, but I'm gonna drop something a little soon. Another clip, another video in a little bit. I'm really about to give y'all that business. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I've been waiting on y'all all season, and really, I've been waiting for the right matchup to really show what I've been talking about when it comes to these other fan bases and these other fans and these other teams, especially in our division. But that being said, Cassius Cliff, just here to talk my shit. Till the next video.